恐ろしいですの。入りましたな。王妃一の立つダンク。それがしの負けですな。
すごいお方です。
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. In this video I present to you top 10 Isekai anime with an overpowered main character. In this list popular anime such as That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime and Shield Hero will be excluded. I decided to include some anime that are not well known, so you may find an anime you haven't seen yet. If you are new here, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so that you can be updated when I upload future videos. With all that being said, let's get right into the video. Starting off at number 10. The Fruit of Evolution. Before I knew it, my life had it made. One day, a man claiming to be a god suddenly hacks a certain school's intercoms, ordering all of its students to form teams and prepare to be transported to another world. There, they will be given special skills in the hopes that they become that world's heroes and defeat the demon king that ravages the land. The initial transfer is a success. However, our MC Seichi Hiragi, who is always being bullied by his classmates due to his somewhat undesirable appearance, is left behind as no one is willing to be his teammate. Nevertheless, the self-proclaimed god decides to send Seichi to the parallel world and lets him join his peers. Unfortunately, this fateful ordeal causes Seichi to arrive at the location deep in the forest, far not only from his schoolmates but from human civilization as well. Overall, this anime is a great parody of all the basic stories we've seen, so if you like action-filled fantasy harem parodies, you should definitely give this anime a shot. Of course, it is not as good as Konosuba, but it's definitely worth the watch. However, if you are looking for Isekai with an overpowered MC with a deeper story, or even a complex world building, then this show is not for you. Number 9. Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody. Our MC Ichiro Suzuki, a programmer nearing his 30s, is drowning in work. Worn out, he eventually has a chance to catch up on sleep, only to wake up and discover himself in a fantasy RPG world, which is mashed together from the games he was debugging in reality. In this new place, he realizes that not only has his appearance changed to a younger version of himself, but his name has also changed to Sato, a nickname he used while running beta tests on games. However, before Sato can fully grasp his situation, an army of lizardmen launch an assault on him. Forced to cast a powerful spell in retaliation, Sato wipes them out completely, and his level is boosted to 310, effectively maximizing his stats. Now, as a high-leveled adventurer armed with a plethora of skills and no way to return to reality, Sato sets out to explore this magical new world. This anime is just your average Isekai anime, with nothing special, no intense story, deep romance or anything you would ever expect it to be. If that is what you expect to see, then this show is not for you. Regardless of that, this anime is enjoyable to watch. No war, no epic magic, no annoying girl characters, just a bit slice of life and action, as well as adventures that are done in a good balance. Number 8. Wise Man's Grandchild. In the kingdom of Hurlshide, Merlin Wolford was once regarded as a national hero, hailed for both his power and achievements. Preferring a quiet life, however, he secludes himself deep in the rural woods, dedicating his time to raising an orphan that he saved. This orphan is our MC, Shin, a normal salaryman in modern-day Japan who was reincarnated into Merlin's world while still retaining his past memories. As the years pass, Shin displays unparalleled talent in both magic casting and martial arts, much to Merlin's constant amazement. On his 15th birthday, however, it becomes apparent that Shin only developed his combat skills and nothing else, leaving him with blatant social awkwardness, a lack of common sense, and a middling sense of responsibility. As a result, Shin enrolls in the kingdom's magic academy to hone his skills and mature among other teenagers. However, living a normal life is impossible, as he is established as a local celebrity almost as soon as he arrives. This anime is relatively enjoyable and has its good moments. It pokes a little fun at itself and is pretty lighthearted, even in the darker story-driven moments. If you are just looking for something to watch casually with no super deep plot or anything like that, then I think this anime is worth your time. Number 7. Arifureta, From Commonplace to World's Strongest. Our MC Hajime Nagumo, ordinary life is disrupted when he and his classmates are summoned to a fantasy world and tasked with saving mankind. While his classmates are gifted with impressive abilities useful in combat, Hajime is belittled for only gaining an inferior transmutation skill that lacks any real offensive power. During an expedition in the Great Orcus Labyrinth, Hajime is betrayed by one of his classmates, plummeting him to the bottom of an abyss. Though he survives the fall, Hajime is faced with menacing monsters and misfortunes that send him spiraling into a grim nightmare. Desperate to live and return home one day, he resolves to fight for his survival, only to meet an imprisoned vampire he names Yue, who is also seeking to escape the labyrinth. Taking an interest in him, Yue and a few others along the way accompany Hajime on his journey to find a way back home, while steadily transforming from commonplace to the world's strongest. This show is a classic story of a weakling becoming the strongest. It is a story that will have you rooting for the MC as he fights his way with nobody telling him what to do. This anime is not bad, not the best either. It's kind of too fast-paced at times, but still entertaining and enjoyable. I recommend that you give it a try. Number 6. Spirit Chronicles. When our MC Haruto Amakawa died in a traffic accident, he did not expect to wake up in an unfamiliar world in the body of a young boy named Ryo. As their memories and personas fuse, Ryo realizes that he now also possesses magical powers. He is relieved to find that his burning passion for revenge against his mother's murderers has not subsided, despite his newly changed identity. Not soon after, Ryo comes across the kidnapped princess of the Bertram Kingdom and saves her without hesitation. To express his gratitude, the king grants him the opportunity to enroll in the Bertram Royal Academy. Believing this to be a new chapter in his life, he is excited to study at this prestigious academy, but life here proves to be difficult for him, a slum dweller surrounded by the majestic children of nobles. Overall, it's a decent show, not trying to sugarcoat it since it's basically similar to other isekai anime, and it has a lot of cliché moments. With all that being said, it's an enjoyable, relaxing watch, even though the story is subpar. Also, the animation is decent, so that's a plus. Number 5. The world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat. Our MC, the world's greatest assassin, had sworn lifelong allegiance to the organization that raised him. However, despite his loyalty, that very same organization takes action to silence him, ultimately leading to his demise. Drowning in frustration and regrets he can no longer suppress, he finds himself in an audience with a goddess attracted by his exceptional skills. The goddess offers him reincarnation into a magnificent world of swords and magic so he can perform a crucial mission: prevent that world's destruction by slaying its hero. Despite being a cliché, the show does a good job in most aspects. It manages to balance building up the characters and advancing the plot. The later episodes had more cliffhangers and left us wanting more, and the world building was handled nicely. Its characters are decently written and have their moments. Generally, it's a pretty good isekai and does stuff decently well. Number 4. Cautious Hero. Our MC, Seiya Ryugyuan, is overly cautious. After being summoned by the goddess Ristard to save the world of Giabran from destruction, the hero prepares himself for his noble journey. While this might be normal, he spends a very long time training himself, despite having overpowered stats. He fights weak enemies using his strongest skills and buys excessive amounts of supplies and potions, all to stay safe. While his attitude may be a bit annoying, it might just be the saving grace of Giabran, especially considering that it is a world where the forces of evil dominate each and every expectation. In addition to great humor and a unique MC, you also have a pretty good plot, which really only begins to be revealed in the second half of the series, during which we also see a gradual darkening of the story, and the tone takes a pretty gradual shift. I suggest that you give this show a try, you may enjoy it. Number 3. Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy. As part of a mysterious contract agreed upon by a goddess and his parents years ago, our MC, Makoto Misumi, finds himself sent to another world to meet the goddess and become the hero. However, the deity deems Makoto to be hideous, refusing to even lay eyes upon him, and revokes his heroic title. Disdainfully giving him the ability to understand all languages except the human language as compensation, the goddess drives Makoto off to the farthest edges of the wasteland, far from human civilization. Due to the disparity between Earth and this new world, Makoto's inherent physical and magical capabilities awaken, making him extremely powerful. He meets various demihumans and mythical beings who all end up being captivated with his characteristics and join Makoto in building a new community where all of them can peacefully coexist. Overall, despite using tropes that we've seen before, it still managed to feel refreshing by combining them in a somewhat original way. It seems to take the nice aspects of those tropes while leaving outside the subpar and cringe features. I think this is definitely one of the better isekai out there. As such, I suggest you give it a watch. Number 2. Saga of Tanya the Evil. Our MC Tanya Degurachev is a young soldier infamous for predatorial-like ruthlessness and an uncanny tactical aptitude, earning her the nickname of the Devil of the Rhine. Underneath her innocuous appearance, however, lies the soul of a man who challenged being X, the self-proclaimed god, to a battle of wits, which resulted in him being reincarnated as a little girl into a world of magical warfare. Hellbent on defiance, Tanya resolves to ascend the ranks of her country's military as it slowly plunges into world war, with only being X proving to be the strongest obstacle in recreating the peaceful life she once knew. But her perceptive actions and combat initiative have an unintended side effect, propelling the mighty empire into becoming one of the most powerful nations in mankind's history. This is a good show that employs a unique and well-done plot accompanied by decently constructed characters, along with very good animation and sound. It is definitely one of the most interesting isekai anime out there. I recommend giving it a try. Coming in at number 1. Log Horizon. In the blink of an eye, 30,000 bewildered Japanese gamers are whisked from their everyday lives into the world of the popular MMORPG, Elder Tale, after the game's latest update, unable to log out. Among them is our MC, the socially awkward college student Shiro, whose confusion and shock lasts only a moment as, a veteran of the game, he immediately sets out to explore the limits of his new reality. Shiro must learn to live in this new world, leading others and negotiating with the NPC natives in order to bring stability to the virtual city of Akihabara. He is joined by his unfortunate friend Naotsugu, having logged in for the first time in years, only to find himself trapped, and Akatsuki, a petite but fierce assassin who labels Shiro as her master. This is not your typical isekai show. It has firm grounded roots of realism in a world of fantasy that is genuinely exciting to watch. From diverse characters to bending the rules in a world most of us are accustomed to, Log Horizon is a good show and is worth your time. With that being said, it is by no means a perfect show. It's a rather simple show in terms of concepts, as well as having plot holes in the overall story. But Log Horizon more than makes up for it in terms of its pure enjoyability, especially if you are a fan of RPG games. That's it for this list. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing and leaving a like if you haven't as yet, and I will catch you in the next video.